Hello and welcome to Hydroponics Talk with me. Today you're going to learn about hydroponics, and to start off there are three main things that you need. You need growing mediums, you need air, you need nutrients, and obviously it's hydro, so you need water. That's the fourth one, so I guess there's four. You'll find out about those three main things minus the water because you know what that is. Next, enjoy. This is rock wool. It comes in large sheets. Those sheets are in separate cubes and one seed goes in each cube. Hydrotron is another growing medium. It's great for transplanting plants as well as starting germination of seeds. For air supply, you can use a standard aquarium pump and bubble stone. Works quite nice. You need nutrients to help the plants grow because they're not getting it from the soil, so you need to get it from the water. You also need nutrients to help the plants bloom and produce fruits. There are two main hydroponic systems that I've learned about during my information class, and that is the nutrient film technique and the passive systems. So I will show you the two different passive systems that I've used and am learning about, as well as the one nutrient film technique. This is the nutrient film technique where the water is in a continuous cycle full of nutrients and it's flowing from the blue barrel up to the top gutter, down through a tube, back down to the bottom gutter, and then back through. As you can see here, it's one continuous flow of water, and then you can grow quite a variety of different plants and get a lot of quantity in it. This picture shows a passive system, which is I like to call the bucket system because it literally consists of a bucket with the plant growing into it, and it has the air tube going down providing air to the roots, and it does great for strawberries and single plants. This one works quite well. This passive system, I like to call it the raft system. It is a big bin full of water. Again, you have air being pumped into it by an air pump, and a floating raft where you literally put the rock wool cubes in and then you grow them like this. You can see quite a different variety of plants in this one as well. Those are the two different systems that I have been using. As you can tell from some of the quality of plants, I planted this before I did my research for my class, and therefore they were not quite growing as well as they should be, but hopefully after this class, when I try again next year, they will grow a little bit better. What I'll show you next is actually how to set up a passive system. It'll be the bucket one. I will show you step by step what to do. It is quite simple and can be grown anywhere in a house. If you choose to do lettuce, it is quite simple. You keep chopping it and you can have lettuce all year round and not to pay for it. So this is the what I like to call the bucket passive system. First thing you need to get is a bucket. As you can see, it's a black bucket, 5-gallon with a basket on top. You next need to fill that basket halfway full of Hydrotron or perlite, which is another growing medium. Then you need to insert the air right through the middle. You can see the tube running down. You can actually see on the bottom there by the cinder blocks a air stone. I'm going to transplant in this case, so I will take a plant that I have already started germinating in rock wool, as you can see here, and I will simply take that plant and place it into the Hydrotron right in there next to air. Bury it a little bit halfway. Try to get the roots down into the water if you can. You then simply add more Hydrotron around it so it gives it some base and structure, and that will allow it to take roots, and then it will end up growing just like that in the plant. Fill it with water, add nutrients, and you are good to go as far as this goes. That is how you set up a passive bucket system. It works quite well for lettuce and strawberries and other plants. I've also grown a quite large tomato plant in one of those as well. It's really nice to transplant. You have to clean off all the soil before you transplant it. What I'm going to show you next is a brief video that I've taken of what I have growing in my greenhouse at my school currently, and just I'll talk you through a little bit about what's there, and then that is the end of the video. Just don't end up with what the last picture is, because you'll watch this video and you'll know, and you'll have looked at the rest of the information on this about nutrients and education and stuff like that, and you'll have a successfully grown hydroponic system, which hopefully I will have next year. So here's the tour of my greenhouse before I started learning about this really in detail from this class. Enjoy. This is the passive system, the raft system, where you can see the blue styrofoam. I have some tomato plants and other things. The air is pumped through that tube into the reservoir. You can see some bubbles. When you lift up this, you can see how crazy the roots are in hydroponics. You can see the air there. I mean, that's a lot of roots for just those plants. That is the raft system that I have going in my classroom. This is the passive bucket system. In this case, I have some strawberries going on. As you can see, I got a few to fruit actually. Pretty much after I've learned how to get them, I had to add some different nutrients there. Again, you have the air being pumped into the bucket. If you look in there, you can see the roots and the air bubbles, which is allowing it to grow quite nicely. Key ingredients, gotta keep the water. That is what I just showed you how to work, and as you can see, that one has no water and it's not going to grow. But again, some nice strawberries going on in this plant right here. The nutrient film technique is in this video. It goes from the blue bucket reservoir, as you can see there's full of water, and that's where you mix the nutrients. It then goes up the tube into the top gutter, and you can actually see the water being pumped in here. You can also see the little roots that are crazy. The water's constantly flowing from one gutter. It goes down the gutter. Those are some sunflowers that my students decide to plant. Down to the second gutter, which is right there. I went a little crazy with it. There's some root system going on. Again, a lot of roots going on. It runs down that gutter. Got some tomatoes. You can look at some roots here. They're in there pretty good, so it's going to be pretty hard to get the roots out. That's how many roots are. It's really fun to grow, but it's really hard to clean up once you're done. It goes down that gutter. I have a few pea plants there. There's some roots. Again, they're very, very fine roots. So ideally, you need to get some support for the plants. Otherwise, they'll fall over like these. Again, you learn something here in this class. It then heads down. There's a pea. Then goes down into the bottom gutter by a tube, and it flows back down into the reservoir down there. And the moving water also provides oxygen here, or CO2 here, so you don't need anything there. And don't let this happen to your hydroponics, where you don't know what you're doing and it ends up dead. Have a lovely day. Bye. That is all for the tour of what I have been growing. Again, if you were to check back in with me next year after doing some research and finding out the information, you'll see also on above and below this video, you'll see that there's a lot more information, and hopefully my plants will go a lot better and I'll use it better in my classroom. That is Hydroponics video.